This happened about 4 months ago. My wife Sarah and I have been married for 5 years, together for 7. And before this whole thing started, I would have told you we had the perfect, most normal relationship imaginable. Sarah is the kindest, most grounding person I've ever met. A real rock. She's a pediatric nurse, which should tell you everything you need to know about her patience and gentle nature. She's definitely not the type to play mean jokes or scare anyone. She's never even raised her voice at me. In our 7 years together, I have never once seen her lose her temper or act aggressively toward anyone. That's why I've replayed the first incident a million times in my head. It was so completely unlike her. It started subtly. We were sitting on the couch watching a movie on a Friday night. Something boring, maybe a documentary. I got up to grab a second beer from the fridge. As I was walking back to the living room, I stopped dead in the hallway. Sarah was standing in the entrance to the kitchen, facing me, but she wasn't just standing there. She was holding one of our biggest chef's knives, and she was just staring. I mean, I know it sounds dramatic, but my heart absolutely dropped into my stomach. It was maybe 11 p.m. The kitchen light was off, and she was silhouetted against the weak hall light. The knife was just dangling at her side, catching a dull glint. "Geez, Sarah," I said, trying to make my voice sound light and jokey. "Don't walk around like that. You scared the hell out of me. What are you doing?" She didn't answer. She just stood there, still and silent, holding the knife. No expression. I took a step closer. "Did you forget to put it away? Did you just finish chopping something?" She slowly lifted her hand and pointed the knife toward the counter, then back at me. It wasn't menacing exactly, but it was profoundly unsettling. "Then," she said in a voice that was completely flat and emotionless, "I was just checking to make sure it was sharp enough." She immediately lowered the knife, turned, and placed it back in the butcher block. Then she walked out of the kitchen and sat back down on the couch as if nothing had happened. I walked the rest of the way, my beer warm in my hand. I stared at the back of her head. She was back to watching the documentary, completely absorbed. Was she sleepwalking? Was it a joke? It wasn't funny. I sat down and waited for her to laugh and say, "Gotcha," but she never did. "Sarah," I finally said, "that wasn't cool. Seriously." She turned, looking totally normal and concerned. "What wasn't cool, honey? You okay?" She genuinely looked like she had no idea what I was talking about. I didn't want to accuse her of being crazy, so I just said, "Nothing, just tired." I convinced myself she must have been half asleep or distracted, even though the words she spoke, "I was just checking to make sure it was sharp enough," echoed in my head for the rest of the night. The night shift ritual. A week later, things got much worse. Sarah works a rotating night shift, so sometimes she's home and sometimes she isn't. This night she was home, scheduled to be off the next day. I woke up around 3:30 a.m. to the sound of something dragging, not a loud sound, just a subtle scrape, coming from downstairs. I nudged Sarah, but she was out cold, deep, gentle breathing. I was instantly on edge, thinking it was a burglar. I got out of bed, grabbed the heavy flashlight from the nightstand, and crept to the door. I tiptoed down the steps, pausing halfway to listen. The sound had stopped. Everything was silent. I stood there for a good 2 minutes, peering into the shadows. Nothing. Must have been the wind, I told myself, feeling incredibly foolish. As I turned to head back upstairs, I heard it again, but this time it was closer. It was coming from our hallway closet, right next to the stairs. I slowly moved the flashlight beam toward the closet door. It was slightly ajar. I could see about a half-inch gap of blackness. Maybe a coat fell, I thought, trying to stay calm. I quietly moved to the door and flung it open, shining the flashlight inside. The closet was empty, save for coats and boots. But lying on the floor, perfectly centered on top of a folded blanket, was a brand new, unused can of black shoe polish. The lid was off, and next to it, the source of the noise, the stiff bristle brush we use for winter boots, dragged across the wood floor. I frowned, confused. Why on earth would she be doing this in the middle of the night? And why leave it here? Then, the flashlight beam flickered a little, and I noticed something on the wall behind the coats. I pushed aside the heavy winter jacket. There was a series of dark, deliberate marks painted onto the white sheetrock. Not writing, but symbols. Geometric shapes, maybe 5 or 6 of them, done with what looked like the black shoe polish. They weren't childish. They were unnervingly precise and ritualistic. They looked ancient, or maybe just insane. I backed away, stumbling on the bottom step. I slammed the closet door shut, threw the bolt lock, and ran upstairs. Sarah was still asleep, unmoving. I got back into bed, sweating, adrenaline surging. I didn't turn on the light. I just lay there, staring at the ceiling, trying to rationalize it. Did she join some weird cult? Was she doing this to mess with me? No, she had been sound asleep. The next morning, I couldn't hold it in. "Sarah, we need to talk about the closet," I said as she poured her coffee. She turned to me, all soft smiles and morning cheer. "The closet? What about it, honey? Did you finally hang up your winter coat?" "No. Last night, I heard a sound, and I found the shoe polish and the brush, and those symbols on the wall." Her smile didn't waver. She took a slow sip of coffee. "Oh, those," she said casually. "I guess I was just feeling a little creative. Decorating." "Decorating? With shoe polish? In the middle of the night?" I pressed, my voice rising. "They look like some kind of sacrifice marks, Sarah. They're creepy. They scared me." She set her mug down. Her eyes got wide and she put a hand on my arm. "Oh, sweetheart, I'm so sorry. I didn't think you'd even notice. I just get these ideas sometimes," she whispered, her voice gentle, the perfect nurse. She gave me a hug, and I was so relieved that she was addressing it. I hugged her back. "Please, just don't do it again. It's weird," I said. "I promise, I'll clean them right up," she said. Later that day, I checked the closet. The lock was still bolted. When I opened it, the shoe polish, the brush, and the strange symbols were all gone. The sheetrock was perfectly clean. The blanket was folded neatly. I was relieved. She had listened. She had stopped. I didn't think about it again until about a month later. I was getting ready for bed, already half asleep. I went to the bathroom to brush my teeth, and as I turned on the sink, I looked up at the mirror. Sarah was standing directly behind me, maybe 6 inches away, staring over my shoulder at my reflection. She was fully dressed in her scrubs, even though she had been home all day. I nearly dropped my toothbrush. "Jesus, Sarah, what the hell?" She didn't move. She didn't blink. Her face was absolutely blank. But reflected in the lower left corner of the mirror, on the spotless white surface of the sink counter, I saw a single thick streak of dried black shoe polish. I wheeled around to face her. "What is that?" I pointed at the sink. She glanced down, her eyes dropping to the stain. Then she slowly looked back up at me. A sickeningly wide, silent smile stretched across her face, far too big for her features, and in a breathy, almost childish whisper she said, "Maybe I just got better at cleaning them up." I didn't stick around to hear the rest. I just backed out of the bathroom, got my keys, and drove. I'm staying with my friend Mark for now. Sarah hasn't called, which is almost worse. I don't know what to do. I don't know if I can go home.